So, let's talk about South Africa, my home. It's famous for a few things: incredible landscapes, a messy but beautiful history, winning the Rugby World Cup, just saying, and of course, diamonds. We're talking about a country that basically introduced the world to its diamond obsession. For over a century, South Africa has been pulling these shiny, sparkly rocks out of the ground like they were potatoes. It's a place so connected to diamonds that you'd think everything there is covered in them. You'd imagine people just casually paying for groceries with a handful of small, perfectly cut gems. This image of endless bling has created a very specific and fascinating question that people always ask. The question is simple, yet it gets right to the heart of a huge misunderstanding. If South Africa has more diamonds than almost anywhere else on the planet, why didn't it ever make coins out of them? It seems logical, right? You have a ton of something valuable, so you turn it into money for people to use. We made coins out of gold. We made them out of silver. But a diamond coin for buying bread and milk? It never happened. This isn't just a random fact. It's a mystery that tells you a lot about how money, value, and a country's entire economy actually work. It's a story about what makes something useful for your wallet versus what makes it beautiful for a ring. To get to the bottom of this, we have to travel back in time, way back, before the first diamond was even a glimmer in a child's eye, before the big rush and the mining headgear. South Africa was a land of complex societies and kingdoms, each with its own way of trading. The idea of money wasn't new, but it looked very different from the coins we know today. Understanding this early history is the first step in solving our diamond coin puzzle. It sets the stage for the enormous, earth-shattering changes that came later, which would forever link the country's identity to these brilliant and sometimes troublesome stones. So, stick with me. We're going on a journey through history to uncover the truth. We'll look at why a shiny rock that can be worth millions is actually terrible for making a coin you can use to buy a soda. We'll separate the Hollywood myths from the hard historical facts. We will explore the real story of South Africa's money, from the colonial era through the dark days of apartheid and into the democratic present. By the end, you'll understand why the idea of a South African diamond coin is one of the most enduring and fascinating myths about the country, and why the reality is so much more interesting. Before diamonds showed up and complicated everything, trade in southern Africa was already buzzing. For centuries, local kingdoms and communities didn't need coins. Their wealth was walking around on four legs. Cattle were the original bank account. The more cows you had, the richer you were. You could use them to pay for a bride, a practice called lobola, settle disputes, or trade for other goods. Besides cattle, people also used things like iron tools, copper bangles, and beautiful glass beads that came from traders as far away as Asia. This was a system based on real, tangible things that had a clear use or established value within the community. Money wasn't just a metal disc, it was something useful. Then, in 1867, everything changed. A 15-year-old boy named Erasmus Jacobs, living on a farm near the Orange River, found a pretty, transparent stone. His family used it as a toy, not knowing what it was. A neighbor, Schalk van Niekerk, saw the stone, thought it might be special, and offered to buy it. The family just gave it to him for free. That little stone turned out to be a 21.25 carat diamond, later named the Eureka diamond. Suddenly, the world's attention snapped towards this remote, dry part of southern Africa. It was like finding out your backyard sandbox was filled with lottery tickets. The diamond rush was on. The discovery of more diamonds, especially in an area that would become the city of Kimberley, triggered a massive scramble. People from all over South Africa and across the world flocked to the region, hoping to strike it rich. They dug massive holes in the ground with little more than picks and shovels, creating the famous Big Hole of Kimberley. This rush completely transformed the region's economy and its society. The old ways of trading with cattle and beads couldn't keep up with this new, frantic industry. A formal, standardized currency was needed to pay the thousands of diggers, buy equipment, and manage the enormous wealth being pulled from the earth. This is the moment where you'd expect diamonds to step up. Here they are, the source of all this new wealth, right there in everyone's hands. It seems like the perfect candidate for money. The diggers were literally pulling value out of the ground. Why not just cut them up, stamp them, and start spending them? But it wasn't that simple. As the diamond fields grew, the British, who controlled the Cape Colony, solidified their control. They brought with them their own ideas about what money should be. And their system was based on something entirely different, a shiny, yellow metal that would soon be discovered in even greater quantities just a few hundred kilometers away. So, why did gold get the top job as money while diamonds were left on the sidelines? It really comes down to a few simple, practical problems. Think about what makes money work. First, it needs to be uniform. Every $1 bill is the same as the next $1 bill. Every 1 ounce gold coin is, well, 1 ounce of gold. But diamonds? No two are exactly alike. They come in different sizes, shapes, colors, and clarities. One diamond might be worth 10 times more than another of the same size because it's flawless. How would you even begin to make standardized coins out of them? It would be a complete nightmare for a shopkeeper to figure out if your 5 Rand diamond is actually worth 5 Rand. Second, money needs to be divisible. You need to be able to make change. You can melt gold down and mint it into smaller coins of a precise known value. For example, a big gold bar can be turned into lots of smaller, identical coins. Try doing that with a diamond. If you cut a big, perfect diamond into 10 smaller pieces, the total value of those 10 pieces is often much, much less than the original single stone. The value of a diamond is tied to its size and perfection, and breaking it literally breaks its value. You can't just chip off a corner to pay for a coffee. That would be like tearing a tiny piece off a Picasso painting to buy a newspaper. Third, and maybe the most important reason, is durability for circulation. Coins get passed around, dropped, and scratched. They need to be tough. While diamonds are the hardest natural substance on Earth, they are also brittle. They can chip or shatter if struck at the right angle. Gold, on the other hand, is malleable and doesn't easily break. It can wear down over centuries, but it won't shatter in your pocket. More importantly, the value of a diamond is heavily dependent on its perfect, cut facets and flawlessness. A single scratch or chip could dramatically reduce its worth, making it a very risky thing to carry around and use for everyday transactions. Then, just as the diamond rush was hitting its peak, something else happened. In 1886, massive deposits of gold were discovered in the Witwatersrand area, near modern-day Johannesburg. The sheer quantity of gold found there was staggering, far exceeding the diamond finds in terms of raw economic potential for a currency. Gold was already the global standard for money. The British pound sterling was tied to it. It was easy to melt, mint, and standardize. With this colossal discovery, South Africa's destiny as a gold-based economy was sealed. Gold was practical, divisible, and globally accepted. Diamonds were simply too unique, too indivisible, and too precious in their own specific way to ever work as common currency. South Africa's coin history is, honestly, a direct reflection of its political journey. Before the country became a unified nation, the currency was a mix of British pounds, shillings, and pence, alongside coins from the independent Boer republics. These coins were made of gold, silver, and bronze, the standard metals for money worldwide. When the Union of South Africa was formed in 1910, it continued to use the British system, minting its own South African pounds that were identical in value and specification to the British ones. These coins featured the reigning British monarch on one side and local symbols, like the protea flower or a springbok on the other. Diamonds were nowhere in sight. They were an export commodity, not a currency. During the apartheid era, which officially began in 1948, the currency remained largely the same for a while. However, as South Africa became more isolated politically, it sought to create a stronger national identity, separate from its British colonial past. This led to a major monetary change. In 1961, the country left the Commonwealth and became a republic. At the same time, it replaced the pound with a new currency, the rand. The rand was a decimal currency, with 100 cents to 1 rand, making calculations much simpler. The new coins featured South African wildlife and plants, but the metal composition and the core idea of money remained unchanged. The rand has been the currency of South Africa ever since, evolving through the final decades of apartheid and into the democratic era. After the first democratic elections in 1994, the coins and banknotes were redesigned to reflect the new, inclusive Rainbow Nation. The new coin series, introduced in stages, featured the country's coat of arms in its official languages. Today's coins are made from practical, cost-effective metals like copper-plated steel and nickel-plated copper. They feature beautiful designs of national flowers like the arum lily and animals like the kudu. The focus is on function, durability, and celebrating a unified national heritage, not on showcasing extreme wealth. So, where do the famous Krugerrands fit in? People often think the Krugerrand is a regular coin, but it isn't. Introduced in 1967, it was designed as a vehicle for private gold ownership, not as money to spend in shops. It contains exactly 1 troy ounce of pure gold, but it has no face value printed on it. Its value fluctuates daily with the price of gold. This brings us to commemorative coins. The South African Mint does produce special collector's items, and some of these very exclusive, expensive coins have featured small diamonds embedded in them. But these are not circulation coins. They are beautiful novelties for collectors, like a trophy, not something you would ever use to buy groceries. Let's clear this up once and for all. The idea of a South African diamond coin used for everyday transactions is a complete myth. It never happened. The primary reason is practicality. Money needs to be uniform, divisible, and durable for circulation. 3 things diamonds are terrible at. Their value is based on individual quality. The 4 C's: carat, cut, color, clarity, not just weight, making standardization impossible. Cutting them devalues them, and despite being hard, they can chip, destroying their worth. Gold was simply the better, more logical choice, and its discovery in vast quantities sealed the deal. The country built its monetary system on gold, the global standard, and used diamonds as a high-value export to generate wealth. The myth likely persists because of South Africa's deep connection to diamonds. The story of the diamond rush is so dramatic and the wealth generated so immense that it's easy to imagine a world where these gems were used as money. Movies and pop culture often show people trading bags of diamonds, which reinforces this idea. Furthermore, the existence of special collector's coins, like the very limited edition Krugerrands that sometimes have a small diamond to mark an anniversary, adds to the confusion. People see a picture of a coin with a diamond on it and assume it's real money, not a rare collectible that costs thousands of dollars and lives in a protected case. Today, diamonds remain a vital part of South Africa's economy and identity, but their role has changed. The industry is no longer about a wild rush, but is a highly regulated, modern business focused on ethical sourcing and maximizing benefits for the country. Diamonds are a symbol of luxury and enduring love around the world, and South Africa is proud of its history as a leading producer. They generate export revenue, create jobs, and continue to be a source of national pride. But their value is understood as being separate from the function of day-to-day currency. They are a national treasure, but not national tender. In conclusion, the mystery of the diamond coin isn't a mystery at all. It's a lesson in economics. South Africa, despite sitting on a mountain of diamonds, never made them into coins because they would have been the worst money ever invented. Instead, the country wisely chose the more stable and practical path with gold, and, later, modern fiat currency. The myth of the diamond coin is a romantic and exciting idea, but the reality is that the true treasure was not in spending the diamonds but in selling them to the world. The sparkle of a diamond was destined for a jeweler's display case, not a cashier's till.